Ms. Berner, if you would call the roll, please.
Yeah. Mayor Lowry,
Here.
Councilman Rodwald,
Here.
Councilman Grimm,
I'm here.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Here.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Here.
Councilman Cobb is absent, and Vice Mayor Cook.
Here.
6 members present.
All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on to the invocation tonight by Vice Mayor Cook.
If you will, bow your heads. Our Heavenly Father, please guide us as we attempt to do the business for the city of New Carlisle and for its citizens. Please guide us as always in our deliberations, and hopefully we will do the best that we can. Please protect our responders, our EMTs, our fire personnel, our deputies, and those folks across the seas who are tied up in protecting our lives and our country. With that, amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you, sir. And the pledge, Mr. Grimm, thank you, sir. The pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag
to the flag of
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
for all.
You know, we've gotten a lot better at that since the very first virtual meeting. You remember that one? That was pretty scarce. All right, moving on. Action on the minutes for the work session on, April 19th, 2021. Mr. Vice Mayor.
We need to do a correction on the one section of the minutes. I believe that Ms. Harness was talked about being Miss Ohio basketball. That should be Miss Clark County.
Okay, so it wasn't Miss Ohio, it's Miss Clark County.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And that was in the work session or the regular session?
Oh, you're
I think that's
asking
right.
something.
I can go back and look. It's okay. I think that was in the regular session though.
I think it was too.
It was.
Okay, in other business, yeah.
Okay. So any other corrections or comments for the regular session minutes? I mean, the work session minutes? Mr. Bridge, you okay?
Yeah, I'm just taking notes, that's all.
Okay, just making sure. You looked a little scared over there.
Oh, that's because I don't, yeah, no, don't worry about me. This is my internal struggle.
Gotcha. All right, Ms. Berner, when you want to call the vote, please.
All right, and we are voting to accept work session minutes for
Correct.
this. Okay, who I don't think, we don't
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
first yet.
So
Oh, I'm
moved.
sorry.
Second.
Okay, motion by Vice Mayor, second by Ms. Eggleston. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Got ahead of myself.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes,
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston.
Yes.
All right, those minutes are accepted 6-0. So now we can vote on the amendment to correct those minutes and change Miss Ohio to Miss Clark County.
For
Right.
the regular session.
correct.
So we need a motion to do so.
So
So
moved.
So moved.
Mr. Grimm, and a second, please.
Second.
Second by Ms. Nowakowski. Make
Okay.
that change.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes,
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski.
Yes.
All right, that motion's accepted 6-0.
All right,
That was to amend it, so now we need to accept them.
exactly.
So
so
moved.
moved.
Ms. Eggleston with a motion,
Second.
second by Ms. Nowakowski for the acceptance.
Okay.
Any discussion? All right, and when you're ready.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes,
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski.
Yes.
Those minutes are accepted 6-0.
All right, thank you very much. And moving on to communications, I don't believe there's none left over from the work session on the New Carlisle Library project. Did anybody have any comments on that before we move on? Nope. All right.
Did we need a motion to?
Oh, yes, you're right. I thought we were going to do it down below under other business, but can we do it now, or do we need to do it under other business? I guess we could do it now.
Well, the agenda is for the.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why that's
Okay.
been carrying over.
Mr. Graham, was you going to make a motion?
Yeah, I move. We work with the New Carlisle Library on installing the story walk on the bike path.
Second.
Mr. Bridge?
Could we put, I'm going to receptive, sorry if I'm out of my place, but part of that motion, could it be to direct me to draft an agreement to present?
Right.
And to draft an agreement to
Yes.
set.
For Mr. Bridge to draft an agreement.
Okay.
That was seconded by Ms. Eggleston, I believe.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. When you're ready.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston.
Yes.
Motion's accepted 6-0.
All right. Thank you very much. And again, to the New Carlisle Library, as we mentioned in the work session, just a big thank you to them for everything they've done for the community as a whole. They're definitely one of the bright shining stars of the city of New Carlisle. And we're so lucky to have them in our city. So thank you to everyone at the library. Let's see, moving on to the city manager's report that I can tell that Mr. Bridge is so anxious to get to. He's just about to burst with excitement over there. So I will let you get to that, Mr. Bridge.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the public. I'd like to share with you the city manager report. Since this is a first meeting of the month, it's not as heavy as the second meeting of the month, but I will go ahead and discuss what's on here. So under informational items, we have mayor's court. We did, the city's attorney and myself did meet with the Clark County Sheriff's Office last Friday to discuss executing agreement for confinement of our prisoners out of the mayor's court. We will be working that agreement out. We don't have anything in writing yet, but they are open to at least exploring the option. So as the information is given to me from our law director, I will update council accordingly. That is all the information I have for mayor's court. We're still working out a lot of the things, and we'll have some more information to come to council here very shortly. Anyone on council want to discuss anything with mayor's court or anything about that meeting that we did have before I go on to the next topic?
Council, any questions or comments? No. I just want to say again, thank you, Randy, and please pass that on to Jake, because I know that is a very fine, detailed project that you guys have to investigate and work on. So thank you to both of you guys for working on that.
Well, we appreciate that. We're very excited to get this up and going for council and for the citizens. Tax information, the deadline is still May 17th. So just everyone just please keep note of that. That is actually exactly about 2 weeks away. So that is the federal state of Ohio and federal guideline as well, that deadline as well. Shelter house, I had this on for the past few, but again, we are excited to announce that we are now renting, and we must follow all the state of Ohio health guidelines. So if you are interested in renting out a shelter house, just give us a call to City Building, and we'll be happy to get you reserved. Monday night drive-in. There's an anonymous complaint letter sent to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. I did attach that so council can review that. I have not had much time to kind of look into anything regarding that particular statute, or if there's any kind of special event kind of clause we can invoke. But I did want to put council on notice that letter was sent to the sheriff's office, just so you guys have it. I do have a discussion area down here for that. So if any council members would like to discuss that, be more than happy to have some open ears.
Did you say you wanted to do that at a later time or now?
What? Oh, no, I said if council wants to discuss it, I'm open ears. I just said I have time to look at the statute to see if there's any kind of counter to it, a thing we can do with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Council have any comments on that or feedback? I just had one. I just thought it was an interesting letter for the fact that it was dated before the car show even took place.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, it's dated before. So there was obviously I guess you could say it was either a typo or it was written prior to with the intent to do so before the event ever took place. And the fact that there's no name signed to it, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Mike, it just,
Yeah.
this just frustrates me.
yeah, if you're not going to put a name to it, it's not valid in my opinion. I
No.
mean, that's just how I see it. I mean, someone might take that as being rude, but I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, in my opinion, put a name to it so we can address you, whether it's in person or through email or through a phone call, so we can talk about it and maybe work a problem out. But and also the fact that it was dated before the event throws a big red flag to me. So that's all I have to say.
And if you ever go to the cruise, and most of the cars are out of there by 8:15.
Right.
Well before the I would say the noise ordinance would even come into effect.
Right. Yep. So, all right. Are you good, Mr. Redwall?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just didn't want to cut you off, Ms. Eggleston. Go ahead.
I'm just, like you said, it needs to have a name to it. I mean, is this what we're gonna get for the Heritage Flight Cruise in?
I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, we do get that sometimes, actually, believe it or not. So,
I mean,
Well, that was for me because they're in front of my house.
no. Other people. Besides you, Peggy, you're valid. Your complaint is invalid.
Thanks.
So I can't complain either.
No,
Nope.
you could, I guess. We'll file it with the complaint department after we develop one, that is. So, all right. Anything else? All right, Mr. Bridge, back to you, sir.
Well, thank you. Would council want me to do any kind of research into this and expend my hours, or should I just
No.
go on and
nope.
Nope.
no?
I mean, it's private property. It's
Worry about
the
that.
bank and the church.
Okay.
If the bank and the church have given them permission to gather there, then the first step would be for this person to go talk to the bank and the church.
Yep.
To
Would agree.
Sure. Well, if that changes and council wants me to do something, just let me know at a later date, and I'll be happy to look into some things for you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Hold on. Pen cap fail. Let me get that before my dog eats it. Okay. So board application is attached. We do have a planning board applicant. Her name is Miss Julie Fields. I think that she will be a wonderful addition to the planning board. Again, with any other board application, we do need council approval to accept that. So again, Ms. Julie Fields, she has applied to be on our planning board, and I don't know much about her. I do know that she is, I think, married to Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields is a great guy.
Wouldn't that be kind of obvious?
Well, it was a
I'm glad we have such a brilliant city manager.
I know. I think she's married to Mr. Steve Fields.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. A little more inclusive. And Mr. Fields has been a fantastic addition to the planning board. So I'm sure Mrs. Fields will be equally beneficial as well.
Is Steve
So
still on?
moved.
Yeah.
Is Steve still on the planning board?
Oh, I think he's president.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very, very knowledgeable guy.
And that wouldn't be any conflict, husband and wife on the
Nope.
Okay. second?
Oh, who gave the floor? Sorry.
Did you have a comment, Mr. Vice Mayor?
I moved too.
Oh, okay. So we had the motion by Mr. Grimm.
No, motion by
Second.
Vice Mayor.
Oh, okay.
I did the second.
Okay, I missed his motion then. I apologize. Any other discussion? Ms. Berner, if you would, please.
All right, and this is approving Julie Fields for the planning board.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
And she's married to Mr. Fields, just for record.
yes. Okay,
Never gonna live that down.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm.
Yes.
That motion for approval is accepted 6-0.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Berner. Are you married to Mr. Berner?
I am.
Which
All
one?
All right. This is a serious meeting, people. Come on, get it together.
Yeah, you gotta laugh every now and then.
All
Okay.
right, back to you, Mr. Bridge.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So the next bullet point on my city manager's report is American Rescue Plan. As we stated earlier, we did have a webinar on Thursday, April 29th. We were expecting a lot more detailed information, specifically with how we can spend this money. We just have our overview bullet points as far as extra pay for, you know, our associates that are considered, why I'm losing, I lost it, essential personnel. We can make water improvements in the water, sewer funds, and broadband infrastructure, 2 other bullet points. But again, we're still waiting on detailed information. So I am not happy to report that we don't have any other detailed information, but as soon as that comes to us, we'll definitely share with council. And again, we will need a series of special meetings to really dig into that money we're about ready to see, the best how to utilize that for our city. Pool study proposal from MKSK. I think we touched on that in the work session a little bit. I will ask for another motion for the city manager not to execute that agreement, and that we're going to go in a different path down the road, just so we have something official by council.
Councilman, make a motion. Here we go.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Eggleston, a second by Mr. Roadwall to not enter a contract with said company.
First on that, I'm sorry.
It was motion by Ms. Eggleston, second by Mr. Roadwall.
Thank you.
Any other discussion before she calls for a vote? All right, when you're ready, Ms. Burner.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Roadwall.
Yes.
Motion's accepted 6-0.
All right, thank you very much. And back to you, Mr. Bridge.
1 second to get my notes caught up here. Okay, moving on with the city manager report. The next bullet point is a potential, land sale. We had briefly discussed that at the last meeting. I did want to discuss it with our planning director. I did ask him to prepare me a memo with his professional opinion. I do agree with Mr. Hutchinson's memo 100%. It's no offense to anyone who is wanting to sell the land, but that particular part of our city is primed for residential housing developments. And the last thing that we should probably do is take a section of that, a decent sized section, and say we no longer have control over that. Mr. Hutchinson wrote a very comprehensive, short but comprehensive memo about that, and he's 100% correct. We want to use that land as a bargaining almost, not, and if we don't own it, we have no control over it. So we did want to present something official in front of council tonight, which is that memo. Council, I would like for you to discuss that a little bit. Ultimately, we're going to be seeking a motion to either sell it or not sell it, just so we have something official by city council as well. If council's not willing to make that motion tonight, maybe we can do it at a later date. But as a city manager, I don't have the authority to say yes or no to that particular type of sale.
Thank you, Mr. Bridge. Mr. Graham.
Yeah, I was looking at the drawing that Derek that you provided.
Mhm.
All of this is in the city limits.
Yes,
The city limits go clear up to Sigler Road.
parts of it do, yeah. Not all of it, but parts of it.
Parts of it, okay.
Mhm.
And the ones marked number 2, those are that was part of the deal with Don, with the Haldon Properties to get us off the hook for that.
That was part of the land reuse program. However, not everything labeled number 2 was. He was prior landowner prior to that taking effect. So it wasn't solely because of that, but some of it was.
So all that is available for residential development.
Absolutely, yes, it is.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Mr. Vice Mayor, sir.
I will make a motion that council go on record as not to sell this property.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vice Mayor, second by Mr. Grimm to not sell the property. Any discussion on that before Ms. Burner calls for a vote? All right, when you're ready, Ms. Burner.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Roadwall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm.
Yes.
That motion's accepted 6-0.
All right, thank you, Ms. Brenner. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Bridge. And back to you when you're ready, sir.
I will draft a letter to the resident and let him inform him of the decision.
Thank you.
No problem. Next bullet point is a fixed asset request for proposal. Council graciously approved that the last meeting for me to go ahead and get put that out. It is an ongoing draft. As soon as that is done, I'll let council see the final version for that before we send it out. But it is a work in progress. Hopefully, we'll have that done within the next week or two. Hopefully, we'll have that done within the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to say next week. I don't want to to a wall there. But again, as soon as we have a final draft, then we'll definitely share it with City Council. And the current project list, I got a lot of positive feedback from council members about that list. I had it attached to this month, this group report as well, but then it got to be very long. And I think something like that big, we'll just update every month and submit that report to council. If council's okay with that, that's great. If you guys want it on every city manager report, I can put it on every report too. It's really your guys' decision.
I thought you actually just got all of it done and there was nothing left to put on here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that I wish that happened, but
No, I do love the list, so that was great thinking on your part. But if you're comfortable with just putting it on maybe the second meeting of every month, I'm fine with that for my 2 cents on it. Whatever council would like, though.
I agree.
okay, we'll just do
Raise
it.
your hand. There you go.
All right. Another thing I started doing something new because some of these city manager reports get really long and there's a lot of attachments. I'm also going to have an attachment summary at each end of each manager report. So you'll see there's 3 attachments, 4 attachments, 5 attachments, et cetera, et cetera. Just make it a little easier for council and the public to go along with the manager report. I do believe that's all I have. I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
All right, council, any questions or comments for the city manager? Mr. Vice Mayor, sir.
One comment, primarily in regard to this investment situation that we're in. I have had exceptional success in my portfolio with Dave Trimmer at Edward Jones. And I'll be honest with you, I have received probably in the last 2 years 7.2% on my investments, which is, I believe, pretty much far above what some of the banks, some of the other people are offering. I have been more than happy with Mr. Trimmer, and he was local here. He's now at Fairborn, but I'm still doing quite a bit of business with him. And if there's a chance to look at some of his proposals, I think this would be an excellent person to possibly entertain the thought of doing business with.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Anyone else?
Would you say more so than the lady that's in town now?
Primarily, she has taken over his. It may end up being a collaboration between the two of them. But in going back on some of the situations that I have encountered with these large companies, particularly when you do trusts, etc., Dave has been exceptionally forthcoming and a great help in solving a lot of the red tape that I went through.
Thank you, sir. Anything else, Mr. Grimm?
No.
All right. All right. Anyone else for Mr. Bridge before we move on? All right. Thank you, Mr. Bridge, as always. Excellent report. I like the little updates you've added to your reports over the past few weeks. So thank you. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to pick off Vice Mayor, if that's okay. Vice Mayor and I had a short discussion of that, and I think it's awesome. Whatever we decide to go with is ultimately probably going to be council's decision. Since this is new to us, we're kind of learning the ropes as we go. So we knew the first step was to get the investment policy codified. And then, we have an agreement that we're going to put in front of council for the red tree. Doesn't mean that we can't have multiple people. But some of the things that me and Mr. Cook had to talk about is I need to find out if you got to have special certifications that deal with public money versus private money. But we'll look into that. But council will ultimately have the decision with who we choose to invest with.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bridge. Thank you for the feedback, sir. All right, and moving on, let's see here. Comments from members of the public. Mr. Bridge, do we have anything on your end?
I do not have anything new on council questions at newcarlisle.net. However, checking my work email, we do have something come in. So I'll read it for the record. And it's from Debbie Minsai. Hi, Ms. Minsai. Good to hear from you again. She says, watching tonight's council meeting, has NC heard from the owner when they plan to open? And the subject line of that email was New Mexican Restaurant. So what I'm going to ask council to do is I can reach out to Mrs. Minsai tomorrow to get clarification, because I think I just want to make sure that I'm going to answer her question correctly. And then we will update, we'll have to update probably at the next council meeting. I just want to make sure that we have the correct information that we're going to put out.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. All right, moving on. Let's see, committee reports, none tonight. Resolutions, Ms. Berner, if you would, please.
Yep. All right, we have resolution 2021-09, introduction, public hearing and action tonight. A resolution providing for the permanent transfer of funds from the wastewater capital improvement fund to the wastewater equipment replacement fund of the city of New Carlisle.
Council. Anyone?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Vice Mayor with the motion, second by Ms. Eggleston.
And an explanation of this is a housekeeping. The original budget, we had put the $10,000 in Fund 562 when it should have went into 561. So this is allowing us to make the correction in our financial software.
All right, thank you, sir. Council, any discussion before we call for the vote? All right, Ms. Berner, if you would, please.
Yep. Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Moving on, we have resolution 2021-10. Introduction, public hearing and action tonight. A resolution establishing a new special revenue fund titled American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 Fund.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Eggleston. I think Mr. Rodwell was the second.
And an explanation of this resolution, this will allow us to create the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 fund in our financial software system. And this will be utilized to receipt the just over $1 million that we will get from the American Rescue Plan.
All right, thank you, sir. Council, any discussion? All right, Ms. Berner, if you would, please.
Yep. Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald.
Yes.
That motion is accepted 6-0. Moving on to resolution 2021-11. Introduction tonight, public hearing and action on May 17th, 2021. A resolution amending resolution 2020-21R, the capital improvement program for the city of New Carlisle, Ohio, for additional capital purchases and amending capital purchase prices. That was read only tonight, so we'll move on to ordinances. We have ordinance 2021-09. This was introduced on April 19th. Public hearing and action is tonight. An ordinance accepting a bid for roof repair work at the fire EMS station in the city of New Carlisle, Ohio.
So
So
moved.
moved.
I heard Ms. Eggleston first, I believe, with the motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Grimm.
And explanation of this ordinance, this allows us to accept the bids that were placed out for the repair of the roof repair of the fire station. That is not to exceed $75,000.
Thank you, Mr. Bridge. Council, any discussion? All right, when you're ready, Ms. Brenner.
Okay, Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Roadwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm.
Yes.
That motion's accepted 6-0. Moving on to ordinance 2021-10. Introduction tonight, public hearing and action on May 17th, 2021. An ordinance authorizing the expenditure of funds over $20,000 for the rehabilitation, pump inspection, and repair of well number 6. We have ordinance 2021-11, introduction tonight, public hearing and action on May 17th, 2021. And ordinance supplementing certain appropriations contained in New Carlisle City Ordinance 2021-01. And ordinance 2021-12, introduction tonight, public hearing and action on May 17th, 2021. And ordinance amending chapter 248 of the codified ordinances of the city of New Carlisle regarding city policy.
Thank you very much. All right, let's see, I think under other business, I know we have to excuse Mr. Cobb when we get to that point under other business, but we also have, we need to discuss the date for just a meeting for anybody that wanted to be involved for the 4th of July fireworks here in New Carlisle, whether it's members of the Baseball Association Council, Mr. Bridge, maybe Sergeant Lehman if possible, or one of our local deputies, whoever really wants to attend it may have a hand in that night. So just count, Mr. Bridge, you're probably one of the busier people here. What kind of night or what time would work better for you? Can you give us a ballpark?
Are we looking for evenings? Are we looking for daytimes, like late afternoons? What do you think?
Well, would it have to be, can it be a physical meeting? Could we meet up at the fire station, or does it need to be virtual?
As long as you you can meet in person. We just got to do the distancing. It could be virtual, it could be however you guys want. I know probably didn't make it easy for you to answer that question. But we can do virtual, we can do in person. It's really up to council and what they're comfortable with.
I'm okay with anything in the afternoon or evening. I don't know what council has, or Mr. Grimm or anyone else.
Is it like a council meet? It's all council members involved, or is it going to be, if you guys keep it under the minimum amount, then it won't?
Yeah, I mean, unless all of council wants to go, then we can set it up that way. But I think if we just get at least, 2 to 3 of us and keep it legal, I don't think we all need to be there and cause more expense to put it in the paper and whatnot. If council's okay with that.
Fine.
Mr. Vice Mayor, do you have something?
Well, that was what I was going to ask. How many council members would like to be there? Then we can draft it from there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going if there's room for me to go. And then Mr. Grimm, it looks like.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it'd be, and I don't want to throw, and I'm sorry if I'm moving my boundaries, but maybe it's something that we talk at the 17th meeting, because Mr. Sergeant Lehman will actually be present.
Set it for the council meeting.
Yeah, like discuss it at the May 17th meeting.
At the work session?
But if he's there, I know he goes to the regular session, but I mean, because I will be there, he'll be there, and then clearly the 2 or 3 council members will be there.
Yeah, could we get?
Yeah.
That would do away with your newspaper advertisement, because
Right.
you already got that.
Could we allow others to come in? For example, so you'd have Sergeant Lehman. Dan, would you be representing, I'm assuming, the ball field as well?
I mean, if it's not a conflict of interest, yeah.
Okay. And then I don't know if anyone from the farmer's market would want to, because I know that they were talking about possibly doing something down there, and then for the festival as well. So can you get maybe 1 or 2 other people that can join the meeting, Mr. Bridge?
Yeah, whatever council wishes. If farmer's market would be
Aber,
Aber,
Roy.
Mike Maxwell.
Mike Maxwell.
Well, I had talked with Mr. Maxwell, and he pretty much put cold water on it.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if they are interested. I was just saying for conversation's sake, if they did want to discuss, would they be allowed to attend?
oh, they could, because council, you guys amended your rules to allow guests in. You just have to do a motion. So if you guys want to make it easy and just say, motion to accept anyone who wants to join the fireworks discussion. I don't know. That's if you want to have it on the 17th, the night of the meeting.
Is that okay? It's up council. What do you think?
Yeah.
You want to do it at the work session?
Yes.
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 Linda? Yes. Okay. So, all right. So see if Mr. Lehman could, or Sergeant Lehman could try and maybe make the work session. And then if it doesn't work for him, we could always do it under other business. If he can't make it to that early meeting, we could do it under other business, maybe in the regular meeting.
Okay. Do you think there's anyone else that's not normally wouldn't be involved in our meetings that we'd have to make a motion to allow them in? We have, but he already comes. If Dan's representing the baseball association, he comes.
Right. I could discuss the Heritage Flights in probably. So,
I think push comes to shove, because here's the thing, if we're in a work session and someone wanted to join, you guys can't do official business in a work session.
right.
Make a motion then to allow them in. So should we do a blanket motion just to allow in, well, I don't know. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it.
No, I see what you're trying to say. We could just make a motion to allow any special guest for the discussion of 4th of July fireworks within the city of New Carlisle for that meeting only.
Yeah, that works.
Mike, can you
So
talk?
moved.
Okay, so I'm sorry, did you Roadblock?
Could you talk to April, see what she maybe has planned for that evening with the pool?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I mean, if she has anything, I guess if she wants to chime in, she can jump in on my computer.
Okay.
So we had a motion by Miss Eggleston to do did you catch that, Miss Berner? What the motion was?
Yeah, to allow any special guests that may want to discuss the fireworks. What should I say?
To discuss the fireworks, the special fireworks event held by the city of New
Okay.
Carlisle. Not just it wouldn't be normal, just citizens, hey, I want to join the discussion. It's for someone
Right.
who may special interest as far as the ball field or someone who's going to do an event that night in relation to, so.
Okay.
And it's only for that meeting only. It's not for any general meeting. It's that for that dated meeting only. Do we have a second for that?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nowakowski is our second for that. All right. And whenever you're ready, Ms. Berner, take your time.
Okay, Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Roadwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski.
Yes.
That motion's accepted 6-0.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Bridge, what am I forgetting? I thought there was something else other than excusing Mr. Cobb. Did you have something else for under other business?
No, but who gave the first and second on that?
Eggleston and Noakowski.
Thank you. Hold on, Mr. Mayor.
Sir.
Chart, no, that's done. I think I'm good.
Okay, I thought we had one other thing, so thank you. So if there's no other general discuss, Ms. Eggleston?
Yeah, I had thrown it out to a couple of people we had talked about the tornado siren,
Oh, yes.
and the responses that I've gotten back, the west side of town and the north end of town hear it fine. But I didn't hear it again today, and I was outside and in the house, so I mean, I think we need to check into maybe putting one on the new substation.
Yeah, I think and I agree. I brought it up. If there's a section of town that's having a hard time hearing it, I'm all for it. And like I said, I think we spent, if I remember Mr. Kitco talking about it, around 25,000 for that last one. And
Yeah.
if that's not an astronomical amount of money. I think it's doable. I think we'd probably just be best though to hold it off till we start on next year's budget and see if council wants to work it in for the next year's budget and do it that way. Mr. Roadwall, then to Ms. Nowakowski.
when we get more clarification from
There you go.
the funds from the next round of stimulus.
Yep, that's
Maybe
a
that
good.
would be, I mean, that is infrastructure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
It is, but it's not water or sewer or broadband, so I don't know how they'll come out on that, but it's definitely something to look into. I mean, if they say,
Yeah.
yeah, run with it, run
I
with it.
mean, it's an emergency. Yeah, it's emergency infrastructure.
Yeah, but I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. I would have a hard time saying that we will use the coronavirus recovery funds to pay for a tornado.
Tornadoes. Right.
We're
No,
not
I
saying
get
here-
But however, what it could do is actually, if you think about it, we may be able to pay for some things out of that recovering fund that we have budgeted, that now that money is going to be freed up. You know? But here's the thing: we'll be starting our budget talks actually sooner rather than later. And if council wants to redo something this year, we're always willing to help you guys out. But budget discussions for next year will be happening sooner rather than later.
Would it be, if you don't mind me asking, Peg, on your behalf, would it be, I guess, I don't know, inappropriate or premature to see what the cost would be to get another one? Just out of curiosity.
It's not going to change much from the past. I think we had one about maybe 3-4 years ago. So
Okay.
I think about the same ballpark. What I'm curious to know is, they always have recommendations, whether it be a recommendation for a speed limit. As we went through with, what's on either side of the road is going to dictate, what the speed limit's going to be. I would like to know if there's recommendations per, if you're X amount of square miles, you got to have one per, X amount. And then 2, location of that. Would they allow us to put it on that substation? Would it have any impact on, windows? I don't know. Some of the things I would like to uncover, but definitely something if council wants us to look into it, just make that motion and we will definitely abide whenever you guys can fit.
All right. Thank you, sir. And Ms. Eggleston, anything else on that?
No, we could put it on the old water tower.
We got the reason to keep the tower.
It's staying.
It's a safety issue.
Public, it's not. Sorry.
But I'd try.
A forever.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Eggleston?
No.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Before we excuse Mr. Cobb, I did want to mention we were talking about the pool. I was doing some research over the weekend, just Googling other pools and finances and things like that. I did find through the state of Ohio, it looked like a grant program, and I sent it to Mr. Bridge because I know nothing about grants and how they work as far as the the detailed meat and potatoes of it. Mr. Bridge said when he got time at his convenience, he'd look at it. If you guys want, I can send that link to you just so you can look at it. But it was here. Let me read it to you real quick. What it was called? It was called the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. NatureWorks, Ohio's Natural Investments. It's a project funded through the Ohio Parks and Natural Resources Bond issues, which was approved by Ohio voters in November of 1993. And it gives a list of a lot of projects they've funded, a lot of projects for, $20,000 grants up to, $300,000. So, I don't know much about it, but, maybe it'll be something useful that Mr. Bridge or Mr. Kiko could use to our benefit. Who knows? So I just want to let you, I'll once we're done, I'll email it to everybody if you want to take a peek at it. So with that being said, if no one else has anything else, we could have a motion to excuse Mr. Cobb.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vice Mayor, second by Ms. Eggleston.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eggleston.
Yes.
Motion to excuse Mr. Cobb passes 6-0.
All right, and moving on to the rest of the other business, tonight we will have an executive session to discuss the employment of a public employee. And then after that executive session, we do not foresee any business to take place afterwards. So I will need a motion to do so.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Noakowski, second by, I think, Ms. Eggleston, if my computer didn't glitch.
All right, Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwald,
Yes.
Councilman Grimm,
Yes.
Councilman Noakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Eggleston.
Yes,
Motion to move to executive session passes 6-0.
All right. And then we will exit this and go into another feed, correct, Mr. Bridge?
Hey, Casey, we have to end this, right? I think he ends the live feed and then we.
That's-
and then we
That's
walk.
correct.
Yep. We got it.
Yep. So Casey, let us know when the live feed is done. Have we adjourned the meeting? Sorry. Let's take a notes.
Oh, so moved.
second.
No,
No, no, no,
We did.
no.
we're not
we-
adjourning
No,
yet.
we're
You
not
guys are going to executive session. They
Yeah,
voted
we-
to go to executive
They-
session,
We
yes.
vote for
Yes.
that when we come out.